to South Florida, just above West Palm Beach. All keep it. You got lots of people calling you. Appreciate the contact, my friend. And good luck. The A7GA K4 CBR.
Thank you, sir. You are 10 to 15 dB over 9, very loud, very strong. Could you give me only one more time the name over?
So my name is David, Delta Alpha Victor India Delta.
Excuse me, David, thank you very much. And fantastic signal, fantastic audio also coming here this morning. 73 KE4 Zulu Zulu Radio, EA7 Golf Alpha Kilo. Good morning.
Kilo Bravo.
Kilo Alpha 4 United Delta X-Ray.
Hotel My Sierra. Thank you. Kilo 8 Hotel My Sierra. Good morning. Thank you very much for answers. My friend, my operator named Javier Juliet Alpha, Victor India Eco Radio. I'm located here in the south part of Spain. So how do you copy me? Kilo 8 Hotel My Sierra, EA7 Golf Alpha Kilo.
Yeah, Roger. EA7 is EA8 Kilo 8 Hotel My Sierra. Very good, Javier. Yeah, very nice. You're 10 over 9, 10 to 20 over 9 here in Ohio, Columbia, Ohio. Very strong you are. And Steve, Sierra Tango Echo, Victor Echo, Ohio,
Thank you, Steve, for the information. Kilo 8 Hotel My Sierra, EA7 Golf Alpha Kilo. Steve, I hear you 5 and 9, 5-9 report at the moment. 15 minutes past 4 o'clock in the morning here, and 4-element monoband Yagi at 20-meter high with the Icon 7800. Thanks very much, and good morning. Kilo 8 Hotel My Sierra, EA7 Golf Alpha Kilo. Good morning.
Kilo Alpha 4 United Denmark X-Ray.
Let's go with the Whiskey Oscar 3 Oscar. Is that Roger?
Roger on the Whiskey Oscar 3 Oscar. I'm about 30 miles east, 35 miles east of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The name is Oscar. The name is Oscar. Over, all yes?
Okay, the name is Oscar. Is that Roger?
Roger.
Thank you, sir. Oscar. You are 5-9 plus 10. You are 10 dB over 9, very loud and very strong, my friend. Microphone back to you, and please let me report. My operator name Javier Juliet Alpha, Victor India Eco Radio. Over.
Roger, Javier. You're 5-9 plus 20. 5-9 plus 20 near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Thank you, fantastic. Thank you. You're also coming here very loud and very strong, my friend. Just quite late for me here at the moment, and I'm going to make 2 or 3 more contacts. So very good morning, 73, and very good DX, good weekend. W Oscar 3 Oscar, EA7 Golf Alaska Kilo.
Good morning.
Kilowatt America 4 United Denmark X-Ray. Kilo Alpha 4 United Delta X-Ray. KA4 UDX.
Kilo Bravo 3 for Tango Oscar. Thank you. Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar Charlie Yankee. Thank you very much, my friend, for answers. My operator name Javier Juliet Alpha, Victor India Eco Radio. Adi, copy me over.
You're 10 over 9, but I am Papa Charlie Gate. Papa Charlie Gate.
Thank you. Excuse for the mistake. Papa Charlie Yankee. Thank you very much, my friend. Could you repeat one more time your name? My operator name is Javier Juliet Alpha, Victor India Eco Radio, and I'm located here in the south part of Spain. Back to you. Kilo Bravo 3, Papa Charlie Yankee, EA7 Golf Alpha Kilo.
Today is Juliet, India, Mike, from southeast Pennsylvania, and again, 10 over 9 here.
Thank you for 10 over 9. You are 5 and 9, 59 Jim, and I'm running 4-element monoband Yagi at 20-meter high. And by the way, 20 minutes past 4 o'clock in the morning. Queen Bravo, Carlton. Thank you very much for contacting my station one more time. My operator name Javier, and I'm located in the south part of Spain. So how do you copy me, over?
Javier, your signal sounds like a broadcast signal. It is absolutely terrific. You're 10 over and absolutely superb audio quality. USL?
Thank you, sir. For 10 over 9, you are 5, 9 plus 5. 5 dB over 9, very loud, very strong. My friend, here is 20 minutes past 4 o'clock in the morning, running close to 1 kilowatt and 4 element mono battery Yagi at 20 meter high. My friend, and my QTH name is Marbella. My QTH is only 1.5 kilometers to the Mediterranean Sea here. So good morning, and 73 Carlton, thanks for contacting me one more time. J4 Charlie Queen Bravo, EA7 Golf Alpha Kilo.
73 is Javier. Great signal as always. Great on the good on the working conditions as well. J4 CQD.
Kilo Alpha 4, United Denmark X-ray. Kilo Alpha 4, United Denmark X-ray. KA4 UDX.
Station number 0. Station from the state side with number 0 again. Thank you. W0 Yankee November India, good morning. Thank you very much for answer. My operator name Javier, Juliet Alpha, Victor India, Echo Radio. How do you copy me, over?
I tell you what, I got a beautiful copy on you here. Almost 20 over 9 here. You kind of like sitting on the driveway out here. It ain't your spot there.
Bob, thank you very much. By the way, you are almost speaking 15 dB over 9, 10 to 15 dB over 9, my friend. So thanks very much for this little short contact. Yes, I'm going to make a few calls to the west coast, and I will go QRT. My friend is 22 minutes past 4 o'clock in the morning, Bob here. So good morning and good weekend. W0 Yankee November India, EA7 Golf Alaska Kilo, Javier Marbella. Thank you.
Kilowatt America 4, United Denmark X-ray. Kilo Alpha 4, United Denmark X-ray.
73, good EX. Please stand by. I'm going to try to make 1 or 2 calls to the west coast looking for W6, W7, CQDX. Looking for west coast, looking for W6, W7, CQDX. Looking for west coast, CQ west coast. EA7 Golf Alaska Kilo, listening west coast, QRZ. CQDX, looking for west coast. This is Echo Alpha 7, Golf Alpha Kilo, calling CQ west coast. EA7 Golf Alpha Kilo, calling CQ west coast. CQ west coast, CQ W6W7, looking for west coast. EA7 Golf Alpha Kilo, listening QRZ west coast. CQ, this is the last call, looking for west coast, looking for west coast, EA7 Golf Alaska Kilo, EA7 Golf Alaska Kilo, looking for west coast, CQ west coast, EA7 Golf Alpha Kilo, listening west coast, QRZ.
This is Victor Echo Bravo. I'm on the west coast, but I mean,
Okay, no copy from the west coast, but I hear Victor Echo 3 again.
Whiskey 4, Tango Oscar, Bravo, out in Eastern Canada.
Okay, yes, I hear you're in the east part of Canada. Could you repeat one more time the call sign? This is EA7 Golf Alpha Kilo, over.
Golf Alpha Kilo, this is Victor Echo 3.
Thank you, sir. Victor Echo 3, Lima Echo Bravo. This is EA7 Golf Alaska Kilo. Good morning. You you are 5 and 9, 59 here in the south part of Spain. How do you copy me? Over. Thank you, sir. Could you tell me your name, your operator name? My operator name is Javier, Juliet Alpha, Victor India, Echo Radio. Located here in the south part of Spain, Marbella. So, what's your name, please? Victor Echo 3D Mike Bravo, 7 Golf Alpha Kilo, over. Excuse me for the mistake, but I have not yet the name. Could you repeat one more time? Repeat one more time for me, over. Okay, Thomas. Okay, thank you very much, Tom, for the information. Thank you also for the contact. I'm running here at 4 and the monoband Yagia 20 meter high and the Icon transceiver 7800. So thanks very much for this little short contact and good morning from Spain and good EX, good weekend. And I go now to your T. So 73 Victor Echo 3 Lima Echo Bravo EA7 Golf Alaska Kilo. Good morning.
Good morning, KA4 UDX.
Lima here, thank you. Fox 4 Echo Charlie Golf. Thank you, 73, and thank you for the retorter friend. It's just quite late here. Thank you very much to everybody. A7 Golf Alpha Kilo QRT.
Oh boy, he gone bye-bye.
Okay, let's translate that. Quebec Romeo Tango QRT means he's going off the air.
Oh, really now? How'd you figure that out?
Well, I figured it out, but I figured the rest of you probably couldn't figure it out and kept you on.
Did you use a slide rule or a calculator or what? Good evening from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This is Kilo Alpha 4 Uniform Delta X-Ray broadcasting live from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Carazette DX from KA4UDX. Or anybody, for that matter. We'll take anybody.
Sir, how you doing? KF5 LMC here in Corpus.
KF5 LMC, did I get that correct?
Yes, sir. Kilo Fox 5 Lima Sierra Tango. Name here is Tango Henry Alpha Delta.
Sorry about that. I was trying to get my my pen sharpened up where it would write. Did you say tad, like a tad bit?
Yeah, pretty much. T-H-A-D. I guess it's pronounced Tad. But yeah, Tango Henry Alpha Delta. Kind of like Tad, but different with T at the beginning.
Roger that. That's because I was going to make a funny about that and say that people say we like a tad bit of you, tad bit of Tad. Okay, well, that guy with a tall tower in Spain, I guess he had to go bye-bye. Sure gonna miss him because he had a good signal coming in here to southeast Florida, but I guess we'll take anybody. This is ham radio. This is not television. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, brother. Tell you what, I got back on the radio. I don't hardly ever watch TV anymore. But yeah, I was hoping to talk to him too. Yeah, he definitely jumped out pretty quick. But I tell you what, have you been on 10 meters lately? 10 meters has been awesome the last couple of weeks.
You know, somebody from England, from the UK, was it last night or I don't know, my days are blurring together, said the same thing. He's like, have you been on 10 meters? It's been hopping. And my radio equipment for HF had kind of been out of the shack for a little bit in storage while I kind of moved and replaced some furniture here. So I had been off for about 30 days and sure missed it. But when I came back on, somebody was chatting on a local repeater. They were talking about, somebody said 15 meters, I thought they said, but I don't know. I went looking, I'm like, because I start from the top down. I go from 6 meters and click on down to, if 6 meters is hopping, I figure 10 meters has got to be hopping too, you know. And yeah, it was quite good the other day when I looked at it. Over.
Yeah, I tell you what, we here in Corpus we have a 10 meter net every Monday night at 7 o'clock, and I don't get off work till till like 6:30 or so. And anyway, about that time of the evening, it's just been awesome. Our 10 meter net the other night, we had a couple stations from Japan check in, and tonight on 10 meters I talked to Tasmania. Never talked to Tasmania before. And to some guy on the Christmas Island, which is out there, I think somewhere between I don't know, man, between Australia and California, somewhere out in the ocean, you know. But yeah, 10 meters has been really, really, really good for sure.
Yeah, Roger. Tell you, one of the most enjoyable things about ham radio is the bands that don't open up a lot, and when they do, getting really good DX contacts, like you mentioned, Tasmania. That's the cat's meow. I don't know how I could describe it other than that. That's the cat's meow. Is getting on 10 meters or 6 meters, something like that, and getting a good DX contact offshore, you know, somewhere a couple thousand miles away. Well, I get Puerto Rico and the islands over here. I'm in Southeast Florida, so the Bahamas and the Caribbean is pretty close in. You know, it's not like 5 minutes away or anything like that, but it's pretty close in. So we hear them pretty regularly on a lot of the bands. So, but to get like Portugal or Spain or elsewhere in Europe on 10 meters or something like that is really fantastic. Over.
Yes, sir. Yeah, see, I'm a pretty new ham. I've only been on here for ham operator for about 5 or 6 months, but yeah, I mean, this stuff on 10 meters has been really, really cool. Japan, I'd never talked to Japan before until about a week or two ago, and Tasmania, I for sure never talked to Tasmania before. And man, I tell you what, they were coming in strong, brother. I mean, just oh man, yeah, 10, 20 over. You know, Japan, Tasmania, the Christmas Island guy, he was super strong too. Hardly any background noise, just totally enjoyable conditions for talking, you know. I mean, geez, they could have turned their power down to 2 watts. I think I still would have heard them.
Yeah, Roger. I worked Tasmania. I don't remember what band it was, and I'd have to dig a little bit to find it. But I had to. I don't know if you had to, but I had to look up that Tasmanian Devil thing again and get that whole story all over again, because I don't remember what cartoon it was in childhood or whatever, that there was a spinning crazy Tasmanian Devil kind of creature going on a cartoon or whatever. But I had to look that up again, and I was pretty tickled to get Tasmania is actually part of Australia, is it not? And I remember looking on Google Earth. It's another continent, right? And south of Australia or something like that. This is KA4UDX. Over.
Roger. Well, some sound like you know more about them than I do. I definitely Googled it, but yeah, that's KF5LST for ID as well. But yeah, I mean, I remember the Tasmanian Devil. Man, I don't remember what cartoon that was, but oh man, I did. That was from my childhood cartoon watching days for sure.
Somebody said Tasmania's in Australia or something like that. There's somebody else out there as well. Okay. What's your name, by the way?
Yeah, man, my name's Thad. Remember Tango Henry Alpha Delta. What was yours again? And I'll get off to the side, let somebody else jump in there.
What's the first letter of F, like Foxtrot?
No, T like Tango. Tango Henry Alpha Delta. Thad.
Thad. My grandfather was Thane, and that's a very interesting name. It's cool when somebody has a different name than all the Mark and Marion and stuff like that. That sounds like everybody's from Disneyland. You know what I mean? Name here is Alan, Alpha Lima Alpha November, and my namesake I think is Alan Alda from MASH. From MASH. That ain't where it came from, but that's where I related to, because the guy Alan Alda spells it right, A-L-A-N, not the A-L-L-E-N kind of thing. So, but Thad, wow, that's a cool name.
Yeah, all right, brother. All right, Alan, glad you're talking to you. Let me get on the side for a minute, man. This is a frequency we go. Normally a lot of guys from this area get on here and talk, but definitely good talking to you. Somebody else wants to jump in there, feel free. I'll be sitting here monitoring for sure. Catch you a little later. KF5LST.
Roger. Thanks for the contact, man. I appreciate the chat. Have a good one. Have a good rest of the weekend. Are we still on a weekend? Yeah, we are. Have a good rest of the weekend and a good week next week. God bless from KA4UDX in Fort Lauderdale. KRZ, this is Echo Alpha. No, I'm sorry, I'm lying. This is KA4UDX. The Echo Alpha station has gone bye-bye. He's gone bye-bye. Somebody else is out there. You're kind of pretty close to my noise level. I'm going to make an attempt at it anyway. This is KA4UDX in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Is it KE4WM? Am I copying that correct? Okay, you're a little light, but that's fine. Virginia, huh? We're at in Virginia. Roger, you'd probably be familiar with the southeast part of Virginia a little bit, being from that area. I was in the U.S. Navy on an ocean-going salvage, diving, and what do you call it? Salvage vessel called the USS Recovery, ARS 43, out of Little Creek, Virginia, which is on the Chesapeake Bay, over there where the some kind of storm has caused some kind of silt and stuff to come down. There were I saw some emails about that. Some of the weather that went up north recently caused a little bit of dirt and mucky stuff to get into the Chesapeake Bay region, but Southeast Virginia, Virginia Beach, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I spent a couple of years up in there. Actually, I had an apartment on Shore Drive, Route 60. I don't know if you know all that, but that's the old Navy route that went right past the base, Little Creek Naval Amphibious Base, and went into Ocean View is what it was called, Ocean View, residential area and that kind of thing, and to the east it went into Virginia Beach. So I spent a couple of years up there, and including 1980 when there was what do you call it, when the snow came down a lot and closed down everything, which wasn't a normal occurrence for that area. But we got a lot of snow one year just before I got out of the Navy, and it shut down everything. KE4, Whiskey Mike Lima, back to you from KA4UDX, over. And Roger, you're about 55, 5 and you're kind of struggling with my my noise level here, and but you're making it. You're making the trip here to Southeast Florida. I'm probably cheating a little bit, and some people would say, and others would not. But I'm running about 300 watts on the peaks here, 300 and change with an Ameritron AL811. And I'll tell you what, I got this 811 only a couple of months ago, and I love it, man. I love it. You know, back when you had CB radio days and whatever, you're like, I want to run a linear amplifier. And you never did, and you never could do anything like that, could afford it or whatever. But I paid about $375 for this Ameritron AL811. And 3 tubes and vacuum tubes. Come on, man. That's got to be cool, huh? Everything is solid state nowadays, all the transistors and integrated circuits and all that deal. But to have three glowing vacuum tubes inside of something and some dancing meters telling you the plate current and the grid current and that kind of thing, that's got to be all good, you know. I was in the Navy. I did Navy Mars. I was a radioman secondhand after being a signalman, so I never really got to work actively as a radioman. So, but I did do Navy Mars on shipboard, and got to run a kilowatt or whatever the hell that was from the boat, and that was good stuff. And to be able to run a couple hundred watts rather than just 100 is like being in hog heaven, as they would say. So I'm on an off-center fed dipole at only about 25 feet, so I do a lot of, I seem to do a lot of short in stuff, as well as getting the DX by the angle of radiation, I guess. I don't know. But it's a Kenwood TS480 going into the Ameritron AL811, and that's what I'm doing here. And having a great time doing it, and I appreciate the contact there, Thad, right? Thad, how did you say that? Thad? I appreciate the contact and you coming back to me. Over. Yeah, Roger. Boy, the noise is starting to beat you up here on 40 meters on this frequency. It's noise is starting to beat you up, but I'm still copying you pretty close to 100%. But thanks for the contact, and we'll look for you later on. Get you in the log there, and hopefully we'll catch you somewhere else, either here on 40 or whatever. But thanks for the contact, man. Thanks for chatting along with us here tonight on a Saturday night at 22:46 local time, which is probably in the 22. I don't know. I can't do that math that quick in my head while talking on the microphone, but in the 0300 UTC kind of range or whatever. Have a good one, and thanks for the contact. Kilo Echo 4 Whiskey Mike Lima from KA4UDX 73s. Cures that from Radio Florida. Not Radio Florida. This is Radio Florida. Radio Southeast Florida. This is Kilo Alpha 4 Uniform Delta X-Ray on 40 meters from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Cures that. Kilo Charlie 8 Yankee Victor Papa from KA4UDX. Over.
Yeah, what was the suffix of the call again?
Uniform Delta X-Ray.
Okay, I got it. Mine is Kilo Charlie 8 Yankee Victor Papa. My name is Bill. I'm up here in Ohio, a little town called Kingston. I'm 35 miles south of Columbus. Back to you.
Kilo Charlie 8 Yankee Victor Papa. This is KA4UDX, and I'm located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Out here where the hurricanes try to run into us, but you know what? The hurricanes didn't run into us this year. They went up in the northeast. Can you imagine that? They went up into the northeast of the United States. Everybody runs away. I'm in the marine electronics kind of business, and a lot of the yachts that I work for, they run up to the northeast to go hide from, I think, the hot weather and the hurricanes, and they go do charters and whatever they do. But the hurricanes ran right up there and went that way this year. That's really strange. Over.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than it used to be, isn't it?
It's yeah, totally different than it used to be. But we got a bunch of hurricanes back in the last couple of years, so we've been slammed here. So we've had our fair share, and in fact, we're still cleaning up from that. Believe it or not, on some levels, from the ones that came through a couple of years ago. Over.
Yeah, fine business. Well, up here, you know, we don't have much trouble with hurricanes.
Where are you located at, by the way?
Well, I'm in Ohio, 35 miles south of Columbus, a little town called Kingston.
Yeah, roger that. My cousin, who is now a truck driver, they're from, I want to say Cleveland, but that just kind of rolls off your brain and off your tongue or whatever, but they're from somewhere up around there. Originally, I think they're out of Tampa, Florida now. Everybody comes to Florida. We used to have a sign at the border that said, go back, we're full. That kind of thing. But a lot of people seem to come to Florida later in their lives. Maybe because we told them it was, hey, it's good down here, and they're like, they actually believed it. But it's okay. But Cincinnati, no, maybe it's Cincinnati. Why am I thinking Cincinnati? Cincinnati Reds. Baseball team, right? I don't know. I'm not an expert, but he used to like the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, that's right. Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati. Boy, if he lived in Cleveland, I can understand why you'd want to move to Florida. I've never spent the winter up there, but I'm east of Cincinnati, about I don't know, 80 miles, something like that. But down here in the southern part of the state, we don't get any of the snow they get up there, hardly anything at all like that.
Yeah, Roger. I was just talking to the other guy before, and I was talking about Southeast Virginia. And normally, I spent only 1977 to 1981, barely, up in that area. And it got cold, and the cold was a different kind of cold than you get in Florida. When it gets hot here, it's humid hot, and it feels hotter than anywhere. When it gets cold here, I think it's a humid cold or something like that. It feels colder than anywhere. It's like we get more than anywhere kind of equation in everything here in Southeast Florida. But in Southeast Virginia, it almost never, well, yeah, I think it pretty much never snowed there. We got 30 degrees, that kind of thing, and I even jumped in the Chesapeake Bay in my younger days when I was a crazy maniac. Jumped in the Chesapeake Bay at 30 degrees and on a dare or something like that. But it never snowed there. But in 1980, they had a blizzard. That's what it's called. I couldn't think of that word before. But they had a blizzard in Southeast Virginia in 1980. It happened to be 1 year that I was there. That's my luck. And it pretty much locked down everything. You couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't drive anywhere. The Navy base was closed. I didn't have to go to work. And a nurse that was living in the whatever it was, house or wherever that I was in at the time, they came and got her in a recreational vehicle. No, that's a diehard quote. Send in the car. Send in the car. No, it's like a monster truck kind of civil service or whatever vehicle. They came and got her and took her to the hospital because people have been there for more than 24 hours or whatever. So, blizzard in Southeast Virginia in 1980. Wow, that was really something. Over.
K4UDX KCAYVP. Yeah, I know. I just got one truck left now, but I had a small fleet. But Kenworth's got a factory here in Chillicothe, and I haul stuff for Kenworth. I spent the last 2 winters down to Abilene, Virginia, which is southwest corner of Virginia. And they have a lot more snow and ice down there than we have up here in Ohio, where I am in southern Ohio. Because I think the elevation, made it a lot worse. But I don't think I'd want to live there, boy. I'd sure want to get the heck down in southern Georgia or into your state of Florida, where you can really get into any good weather.
Yeah, Roger. I would. My thinking is that in the western parts of the state has to be more suburban. We don't know how to talk down here. It's like everything is like wall-to-wall glass buildings anymore. When we moved to where I'm at in Fort Lauderdale, the very north end of Fort Lauderdale, the main road north of us was a two-lane roadway, and it came right into our street. Junction, just like a T-bone. They talk about T-boning a car with an accident or whatever, but it T-boned right into the 2-lane roadway. Now it's I think it's 3 or 4 lanes in each direction. There used to be woods across the street. We could go camping and fishing and that kind of thing. There were farms actually just north across that road, and west of here used to be farms, cows, horses, that kind of thing. Not anymore. That was in 1970, I think. Yeah, 1970-ish. And now it's we got a what's the name of the hotel? The Westin Cypress Creek on the north side of the road, just east of here. And the interstate came through somewhere around 1980 or whatever, just below that time frame, and cut off some houses and a lot of things. The highway, the Interstate 95, almost is on our doorstep. They missed us by a block or 2 cutting north. If they'd have come a little bit further east, they'd have bought our house too, and we'd have been millionaires living on a beach and collecting 20%. But it's quite the deal here now. All glass buildings and highway and fast cars and fast people. No more fun, Over.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Hey, there's somebody wanted in there. Go ahead. This is KC-YVP. This is Kilo Golf 4, Alpha Romeo Sierra. Kilo Golf 4, Alpha Romeo Sierra. Go ahead, sir. Okay, I didn't catch the other gentleman, but I lived in that area called Coconut Creek, so I know where he's talking about.
Kilo Golf 4 Alpha Romeo. Are you still here in this area, or you're elsewhere? Over.
No, I'm in Atlanta. It used to be in Coconut Creek.
Roger, copy that. Coconut Creek is just up the road. I could probably throw a baseball that far. I'm at the very north end of Fort Lauderdale, right off of Interstate 95 and Cypress Creek Road. But cool. So you've been in this area, over. Yeah, you're kind of in my noise level. You went up better the last time, but this time you were kind of down in the noise level. But I don't want to shut out KC-8YVP. I think I got it correct. Over.
Yeah, that's correct. KC-8YVP. You guys go ahead, and I'll just get out of here. I'll say 73.
Roger. I need to get down the hall here myself, but I'll. Hey, 73 is YBP. Thanks for the chat. I appreciate it. And all the best to you and your family. Break with you and KG for ARS, I think it is. That's what I wrote down with my my crayons and my paper. Are you still there? Over.
Yes, I'm still there. Yeah, working plantation and Boynton Beach, which I'm sure you know about.
Yeah. So you probably it's a battle hearing you. I don't know why. Band conditions or whatever arrangement. Maybe my antenna's lousy. Maybe my equipment is lousy. I don't know. But I'm probably putting out more than I can receive. The story of my life. I'm putting out more than I can receive. It sounds like when you work so hard and you can't get any money for it. That kind of thing. But you're kind of in my noise level a bit, but I'm hearing you. But I'm at like I was telling the other guy at Cypress Creek Road, Northeast 62nd Street and Interstate 95, and that's the very extreme north end. I don't know how we managed to do that. If you could roll the dice and figure out where you're going to live, where you're going to have a house, what are the odds that you could get the very extreme north end of Fort Lauderdale, just before Pompano Beach, and right on Interstate 95? What are the odds you could do that? That's pretty cool, I guess, in a way. But that's where we're at. And you mentioned Coconut Creek, and I think you mentioned something else just then. But all of that stuff is right around here and right around the corner. Just west of us, I had an apartment for the last like 13 years prior to 2 years ago in Tamarack, and you got Lauderdale Lakes and I think Sunrise and Plantation just south of that. On the north side you have pretty much Coral Springs, Florida, and anywhere north of that is Northern Territory, like in Alaska. What's that called? I don't know. I'll talk to people over there as well. But that's where we're at. Over.
Okay, well, you're 5 and 9. Pretty strong signal up here. Crank my power up another 20 watts, hoping that will keep the noise level down there. Yeah, when I moved there, Atlantic Boulevard did not go through to the beach. Just like you were describing earlier. That's you, taking for ARS.
Yeah, Roger. And I've got an obvious question from you. Are you from the United Kingdom originally? Over.
Yes, that's correct. And there's somebody in the neighborhood here tuning right on top of it.
Yeah, because I'm just picking up the accent, and I love that accent, by the way. And I work in marine electronics and kind of like IT and communications and satellite and cellular and Wi-Fi and whatever internet stuff for yachts out of Fort Lauderdale and elsewhere. But so I'm talking to a lot of yacht captains, and another one. A yacht called Endless Summer is that he has a house over here in Fort Lauderdale, so it doesn't surprise me that someone will be from the local area here with that kind of accent. But I love it. Over. Okay, well, you're getting down in the noise level now, so I'm going to back out of here for a while. and send my best 7-3s to you and your family, because I think it's going to be a rough copy trying to hear the audio out of your signal, and that's probably not your fault. It's probably the noise level that I've got here is kind of eating you up and spitting you out for breakfast. But thanks for the call, and you're in the log, and we'll look for you again on the bands. KG4 Alpha Romeo Sierra, best 73s from Kilo Alpha 4 United Delta X-ray. Over.
Okay, YC-73s appreciate the contact with you from Atlanta. 64 ARS, signing off.